Welcome back to the Investor Mindset Secrets podcast. This is Mark Anderson. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the investor's success cycle. When people think about starting a business, they treat it like they're throwing a child's birthday party. They rush out and they buy things that they think that they will need. However, a birthday party is cheaper, much cheaper by comparison, and it ends in one day. By comparison, starting a business can be expensive, especially if you start buying things up front. Instead of buying balloons, like for a birthday party, you'd be buying branding packages for your business. Instead of going out and getting a cake, you're going to buy websites, software, and subscriptions. And instead of buying party favors, you'll purchase equipment, ads, and inventory for your business. Now, this can be very expensive. You can end up spending thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars before you've even made a single sale. Most people fail in business not because they have bad ideas, but because they confuse activity with progress. Buying things can feel like you're making momentum. Spending money feels like you're committed to your business. However, none of those activities actually create any revenue at all. Starting your business with purchases creates problems for you. Pressure to make payments to credit cards before you've even proven whether your business will be successful. It forces decisions to be made out of fear rather than clarity. And inevitably, it can cause you to quit when results don't come quickly. Here's the hard truth. Debt creates an urgency to make something happen today, rather than providing you with real direction about what to do with your business. This pressure can lead to bad decisions, which can ultimately kill your business. That's why so many businesses die within the first year. The debt pressure was too much to handle. You can't buy your way into success and confidence for your business. You have to execute your way into it. Successful entrepreneurs start with vision and strategy first. So in this episode, I'm going to take you through this 4-step process called the investor success cycle. So if you're watching this on Spotify or on YouTube, I've switched to the PowerPoint and I'm going to walk you through the investor success cycle. Now, the first step in the process is vision. Vision defines the client outcome that your business creates. Whether that be more successful marriages, whether that be weight loss for your customer, whatever it is you want your client to experience, you need to put that into your vision for your business. Your vision should also focus on the end results, not the product or tools that you're going to use to get there. What is that end result you want your client to experience? And then it filters out what to build and what to ignore in your business. So in other words, if you're wanting to have your clients lose weight, you're not going to invest in a bunch of Snickers candy bars for your business, right? Because those things aren't going to help your clients lose weight. It'll help them gain weight. So you need to have that vision for your business. It will help you to naturally filter out what you need and what you need to ignore. And the next thing that vision does is it prevents you from spending before you have clarity around your purpose. The problem that I mentioned before with the birthday example, people just go out and buy things and they may or may not be needed for your business. And in a birthday party, if you buy things that you don't use, you can always take them back to the store. And, you might only be out, a few $100s. But if you do that for a business, like I said, you could spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So you need to have, before you open up your wallet, you need to have clarity around what your purpose is for your business. Also, vision helps you turn your business into a long-term investment. That's what a business needs to be. It shouldn't be just about, I'm going to make $50 million by next Friday. That will almost never happen, I guarantee you. All right. So you're going to need to have a vision for your business, something that will turn it into a long-term investment, because you need to have a long-term view. just as if you were the CEO of a major Fortune 500 company. Even if your business hasn't sold a dime yet, you still need to have a vision, because that will help you avoid a lot of heartache and pain and unnecessary spending along the way. So the second thing that you're going to need for your business is strategy. Strategy helps you turn your business into a clear plan of action. It defines how your value will be delivered to your customers, and it helps you to prioritize actions that are going to create revenue. So, for example, if you're going to help customers improve their marriages, what you need to do is you need to define how that value will be delivered. So are you going to have a physical location where you meet with them and you talk to them and help them work out their marriage? Or are you going to do it over the internet via Zoom or some other platform? Defining that upfront will help you to prioritize what actions are needed. So if you're going to do it over Zoom, you don't need to go out there and rent office space and buy a bunch of furniture, because you're going to work with clients virtually online. So renting out a physical place isn't going to help your business. You see how this works? If you define everything up front, it can help you to prioritize what spending is needed and what spending is just not needed for your business at all. And then the fourth thing it helps you do is sequence what activities are going to happen first, and then what activities are needed second, and what activities are needed later on. Okay, so it helps you put everything in order when you have the strategy lined out, how you're going to deliver that value. And then the last thing, it's going to prevent random effort and wasted resources. If you can prioritize, like I said, everything up front, you'll know what to spend your money on and what not to spend it on. See, if you just treat your business like a birthday party, you're not going to know what to spend your money on, and you're going to probably buy a bunch of things that you don't need. So the strategy is going to prevent random effort and wasted resources, particularly with your money. And then the third area that you need to focus on is execution. Now, this is very, very important. Of all the things that people do with their business, this is where entrepreneurs tend to fail the most, is in execution. They hear about an opportunity, they believe in it, they buy it, they go out and strategize how they're going to use it in their business, but then when it comes to actually executing it, they're nowhere to be found. Because here's the thing, execution requires consistent effort, not random bursts of energy. That's where entrepreneurs fail, is that they get this burst of energy, this motivation up front, but then, 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months later, they're nowhere to be found. Most things in the entrepreneurial world take time. It's going to take hours and days and weeks and months, even years, for you to get something built up so that it's going to be able to provide the type of success that you're looking for. But if you're looking for, $50 million overnight, you're going to quit because you have the wrong mindset about what entrepreneurship means and what it can do for you. So entrepreneurship requires execution, and execution requires consistent effort. And when you have that consistent effort, it will turn your business plans into real-world feedback. Because here's the thing, you don't know how successful your ideas are going to be until you take them out into the marketplace. Everybody has a plan, but unless you've actually put some shoe leather to it, and until you've actually worked out that plan, I like to call it kick the tires on it to see whether it's working or not, those plans are going to be meaningless, because you need real world feedback about what your clients need and how you can help them. And execution will help build confidence through consistent action. When people don't have consistency in their life and in their business, there's no confidence, because there's no consistent action. And then finally, it's going to help you separate ideas from income. All right. So you may have one idea about how your business is going to work, but then when you take those plans into the marketplace and you get real world feedback, you can modify how you're going to conduct your business. You're going to adapt it to what your customers' needs are, where their pain points are. You might think you understand their situation, but it's not until you actually get out into the marketplace and try to work with people that you understand where they actually are. And it will help you. That execution will separate ideas from income because you know what your clients need and you know how you can deliver it for them. And then the last part of this success cycle is actually success itself. Okay. But success is not, oh, I can go out and buy, a yacht somewhere, or I can go out and buy a Lamborghini, or I can go out and buy a $3 million home. Success is the result of aligned vision, strategy, and execution. Once you have your vision, then you have your strategy, then you execute that strategy. And as you execute that strategy more and more, you'll become successful. So success reflects the value that you created for your clients, not just the revenue earned. That's the most important part, is that success is about value creation. And I talk about that in my success blueprint training. It's about what are you doing for your customers? What value are you creating for them? Because that's what they're going to remember. In order for you to have a sustainable business, you need to create value for them, not just collect their money and give them a spreadsheet and say, oh, good luck with that. No, it's all about the value. What did you do for them? Did you actually help them to create the result in their life that you were intending? And then success is earned over time. It's not purchased up front. You can't buy your way into success. You see that all the time in sports teams. They go out and spend millions of dollars on getting an all-star lineup. And then those people go out there and they argue with each other and they can't get along as a team. You can't buy success. Success has to be earned over time. And then success compounds when systems replace guesswork. When you have systems in place that make discipline automatic, that's when you can create long-term success. And as I said, success represents sustainable growth, not just a one-time win. You'll never survive in the marketplace if you try to just get a one-time win. You want to create sustainable growth, sustainable success, and you only can do that when you create real value for people. So as we wrap up this episode, here is how you can apply this lesson to your life for this week. For this week, I want you to create a vision statement for your business. If you don't have a vision statement for your business, you owe it to yourself to create one before you spend another dollar on your business. So set aside 30 minutes to write one clear sentence that answers this question. When everything goes right for my business, who does my business help? And what specific result does it create for them? So, for example, you might write, I am a successful entrepreneur who helps couples create a strong marriage. So it defines in that statement, in that sentence, who your business helps, couples, and what specific result does it create for them? It helps them to create a strong marriage. So I want you to do that for your business this week. Take about 30 minutes and write something similar to this and define your vision statement, because it will help you tremendously for next year. And then 2 other things. List the top 3 actions that will help your vision move forward, especially as we go into next year. So just list 3 actions that will directly move that vision forward in 2026. And then one last thing, cancel one expense or activity that does not support those actions. So something that you're doing now, that's not contributing to your vision for your business, you need to eliminate it. And if there's more than one thing, eliminate anything that's not creating directly value for your business and not contributing to your vision statement for your business. So if this episode resonated with you, don't stop here. Subscribe to the Investor Mindset Secrets podcast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. You can also watch full episodes on the Investor Mindset Secrets YouTube channel. Be sure to follow the podcast and come back next week as we continue breaking down how entrepreneurs build with an investor mindset.